So when we start breaking into these high vibrations, you get into something like courage, right? And we just left anger and desire. Anger and desire is where we finally broke into maybe proactivity. It's still a little bit on the quote unquote negative side and or the low vibration side of the scale. So it's like you were still somewhat win-lose when you were in pride, like I'm better than people, or like anger, like I will get what I want. But when you start breaking into win-win, you come to somewhere like courage, and now you can start thinking almost externally, like it's not just you, it's not just what you need or what you want. You can start thinking about other people. It's where if we're looking at this almost as a hero's journey, it's when you finally realize you're the hero, or you realize that there's other people you have to help or take care of. Coming to this as it goes, courage, affirmation, feasible. Breaking into this courage, let's come to affirmations. That's where this affirmations comes in, right? Like you're starting to tell yourself these truths. You're starting to convince yourself of these realities. You break into courage. You start telling yourself these affirmations. You start to believe that you are enough and that you can do it. You start to really believe in what's possible, what you're able to do, hence the word feasible. You've broken out of this paradigm where everything's a lie, or everyone's out to get you, or everything's hurting you, and now things are more realistic. Some people probably stay in this. They probably stay in this like heroes complex. Not to make it negative, but they probably stay here just like, I'll do this, I'll do what's right. I'm justice. And like a lot of people who probably do a lot wrong in this spot, they probably have good intentions, because they finally broke out of that win-lose, and they were thinking win-win. They just didn't have necessarily the right behaviors to push it forward, or to really take right action necessarily. You know what I mean? Like it's still a newer level in the spectrum that you haven't really developed that much empathy or compassion consciously. You might be a natural empath or something, but you haven't developed that much empathy or compassion like consciously, that you have the right behaviors to be able to build like synchronistic energies and connections, and like really be bouncing off of everyone else's energy. But you're just getting to the point where you're willing to do that, or you're the type of person, because you could have started here, that you're thoughtful of things like that, and you want to do things like that. So where feasible really hits is that up until this point, even if you wanted something, it was like, let's take it down to pride and demanding. It was somewhat more so like scarcity, right? It was like, I need it. Like the farthest we had gotten before now is like, I need it. Give it to me. Give me now. Give me now. I need it. But to actually be able to expand into this place of collaboration, abundance, expansion, now things are so much more possible. Now things are so much more, like the word abundance, like they are abundant. Like there's opportunity, there's scale, there's reach. Like with courage, you're finally hitting a more expansive energy versus contractive. So now you're able to start pushing out. You're able to start pinging off of others instead of being so like isolated and contained energetically. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, 100%. Definitely encourages a point where you have your own accountability and your own empowerment, and you can draw your own like state from within instead of relying on external stimulus to validate you, to energize you, to give you the permission to do things. And then affirmations, where that slides from courage to the emotion of being able to take in an affirmation, means you have to, like, I don't know, have your phone out, use your camera, use a mirror, just talk to yourself and be like, I can now generate this statement of belief, and I'm not relying on external. And then you can start to nurture and curate what you feed yourself, which then in turn feeds more courage, because you're generating from within. And then because you can do something as simple as have a affirmative state, you're like, oh yeah, I can, and it's coming from a positive place, then things seem possible. Like, I've continuously fed myself these good, nutritious, positive thoughts, and now things seem possible, as opposed to before, when you weren't able to do it yourself and you're relying on external, or in resistance to your external environment or the things you engaged with. Nothing was feasible, because it was like, there's a hurdle between me and the goal. I can't get around this obstacle. But once you have a little bit of courage, you reinforce it with the affirmation, and pretty much anything can be feasible and or possible. A great example is taking accountability to check your blind spots. A lot of times, when you aren't willing to audit yourself, then you don't feel like a sense of entitlement to be the best you. But, when you're aware and you're like, okay, well, I have areas where I could, improve upon, then it becomes more of just like okay, I'm now me, I'm courageous, I'm affirming myself, things are possible, and it's like, but I can get better. And then it'll help bring you out of courage to wherever the next paradigm is. So that way you don't just stay there as like, as you said, the hero. Like, I'm the hero. I do hero things, but I'm the underdog hero still. Now you can check your blind spots and realize, heroes usually have powers that they discover in the movies over time. Where am I chilling? Can I really fly? Okay, I can't fly. Can I run through walls? You can't run through walls either. But at least I tried. And you're fueling yourself with checking blind spots and trying to grow, as opposed to just staying stagnant and just dwelling in I'm validating myself era.
He said, yeah.